Hey everyone, and Happy New Year. It's almost impossible for me to believe that we're in 2019. I hope you had a great holiday and that you're back and ready for what we'll call a normal life. In the first video of the year, I want to talk a little bit about some items that we're closely watching this year. Also give some information from a high level on the national market and some things of what we're looking at with that. In the next video, we're going to drill into Houston specifically and look at some of those details and some of the expectations from there. And we're watching a few things very closely this year, as I think, depending on what happens with them, it's going to have a big impact on our market, both sellers and buyers. First thing is interest rates. The Fed recently raised the rates, and the market did not react kindly. So I think now some of the language coming out of the Fed, they've softened their position, and they're going to take the future hikes or potential future hikes on more of a wait and see. So it seems to have quelled a few fears. Two is oil. Even though Houston is a very diversified city, we still have a lot of things that are affected by oil, as you know. We saw a pretty big decrease in pricing last year, but seem to be holding steady. So we're going to watch how that plays out. Third thing actually is the new tax laws. We're going to see how those play out. What we're thinking and what we're hearing is some of the higher priced areas, some of the places where the property taxes or the property values are super high, those places could be looking for some shelters. And the Lone Star State, Texas here, is on the list for people to head to maybe get away from some of that. So we'll see if that gives us an influx of buyers. Looking at the national market, right now we're seeing three interesting trends going on. One, we're gonna have more homes for sale. We've been in a huge seller's market for a long time, and we're starting to see a shift. Many places of the country are in a shift from an extreme buyer's market, extreme seller's market rather, into more of a buyer's market. This is very pronounced in a lot of areas in that luxury market. So that's one of the things we're following. Another thing we're following, and we've mentioned this a couple different times, is the availability of entry-level housing. That's becoming harder and harder to find. As the prices keep going up, we're seeing a portion of the world, portion of the population, would-be buyers, having to sit on the sidelines. The increased pricing coupled with higher interest rates are making that first-time home purchase for a lot of people very difficult, and that can have the propensity to push up into the higher levels. If they can't move up, then it's a stacked effect. Last is interesting, millennials are now the dominant buyers on the market, right? The younger market that years ago people said no one wanted to buy and they would never buy. Well, now they make up 45% of all mortgages, with only baby boomers making 17% and Gen X making 37%. So the millennial generation, we're going to expect to see this trend for quite some time. They're a huge demographic. And since the millennial group grew up with iPads, then we're having to rearrange how we do our marketing to focus on that, where it's more digitally, stay in front of where they are and get the homes out to them the way they want to see it. So again, happy 2019. We'll be back on the next video. Again, more directed at Houston and some specifics on what we're expecting here. As always, if you have any questions, you want to buy, sell, questions on either of those, feel free to text or give me a call. Happy to answer anything. Or if you know someone that you think may benefit from this information, feel free to pass it along. Again, Happy New Year, and we'll be back with you in just a couple weeks.